we will try together. So the question asked to me was, boys and girls, are we different? Yes, we have two horizons, two natures. So do we need two educations? We will have three parts, two horizons, two natures, and we can open the discussion about two education. So first, two horizons. When I am a boy, I grow up and my horizon is to become a man. Perhaps an husband, perhaps a father. So my horizon is very specific. If I am a small girl, I will grow up and my horizon is different. It is to become a woman, maybe a wife, maybe a mom. So the sex is observed. It is not assigned, contrarily to what is written everywhere. Sex is not assigned. Sex is observed, discovered at birth or on the ultrasound a few months before. The external genitalia indicate the sex, not chromosome. Chromosomes are at the origin, but what say if I am a man or a woman, it is said by my external genitalia. It is very important. But within each sex, there is a huge variability. So you see, there you have men and women. In average, men are taller than women, but there are some tall women and some small men, as me, for example, not very tall. So the size variability, men are on average taller than women. However, there is considerable variation. There are also tall women and short men. Of course, size does not indicate gender. Size does not indicate gender. It is the same for temperament. There is a huge diversity, variability within each sex, variability in temperament. And you see this young boy. Girls are often more coquettish and empathetic than boys, but there are coquettish boys and brusque girls who prefer rugby to dancing. Temperament does not indicate gender. Only external genitalia indicate gender. The knowledge of one's sex is not innate, is not genetic. The knowledge of one's sex is observed. We discover it progressively. The children discover their bodies, compare them to those of their mothers, fathers, and other children of their age. They discover who they are and where they fit in. The child imagines their future. They practice and play as being mommy or daddy. It is not innate. Though the child does not know its gender, it discovers it. Parents and those around them welcome the sex of the child by doing simple things, such as choosing clothes or the color of the bedroom. Is very important. All this act from the parents help them to accept the sex of the child, and it helps the child to accept his or her sex, gender. It is not automatic, it's not genetic. There is a lot of work to do to help the person to become who he is or she is. Parents value masculinity and femininity and encourage children to prepare for their future. This has to be done, but it is frequently not done. It is rare. Many parents do not value masculinity and femininity. Masculinity has to be valued. Femininity has to be valued. If it is not valued, how a child can become an adult? How a boy can say, oh, it's good to be a man, if in the family each day masculinity is not promoted? The child himself becomes aware, they become aware of their physical gifts and limitations. They scrutinize the way people of the opposite sex look at them. Sometimes they would rather remain children. They would prefer to remain children, to avoid to become an adult. They go through a sometimes painful process of accepting their new horizons. What is called by Christian Flavini the anxiety of pubertal sexualization. It is very important to take account of this anxiety. Each of us has a small or important anxiety of sexuation. It is difficult to accept our sex. So, a summary for this first part. Sex is observed, it is not assigned. The genitals indicate sex, gender. Sex places the person in the context of the transmission of life. Sex is transmission of life. Children do not innately know whether they are boys or girls. They just discover this through observation. And there is a physical, biological anxiety of pubertal sexualization. It is innate, the anxiety. So we have to help them through our attitude toward masculinity and femininity. We can help a lot the young to desire, to become who they are. So do we have two natures? For that, we will just, let's turn to science. We will ask to science whether there are really two natures, masculine and feminine nature, or only one nature. So, when does the brain become sexed? The second question will be, is the mind placed in the body or united to the body with it? Is it like this small cat placed in the box, the mind placed in the body, or is it united? And the third question, does gender differentiation continue after birth? But if it continues after birth, we have to protect this evolution. We to act to protect this evolution of the person after birth. So the first question, when does the brain become sexed? Very early, at the end of the first trimester of pregnancy. The first trimester after 3 months of pregnancy. The sexualization of the child within the womb of the mother begins to develop. The ovary appears in girls and the testicle in little boy. At the 3rd month of pregnancy, the young girl has ovaries, the young boy has testicles. So the sexualization begins very early in the womb of the mother. And Simon Baron Cohen and others have discovered that it is at that time that the woman intuition is built. The strength of the woman to have intuition begin on the second trimester of the pregnancy, very early. The intuition does not come only in adulthood. It is built inside the womb very early during the pregnancy. And the same for male tasks for analysis. Baron Cohen writes, at birth, the female brain is primarily wired for empathy. And the male brain is primarily wired for understanding and building system. So God has created man and women very different and complementary. And at birth, we have different brain. The female brain is really very strong for empathy, and the male brain is very strong for understanding and building system. So it is probably one of the reasons why men like to analyze. And women, as it is not necessary, they just know. Before any analysis, they know. But it is the complementary strengths we have, because each situation needs analysis and intuition. But we know now that it is built in. Second aspect, language. Non-verbal language skills. And also aptitude for verbal language is developed within the womb of the mother. The young girl has more words than young boys in average in their language. At 2 or 4, girls have many words. Boys have a lower number of words. But also, the girl look the eyes of people and know what happened in the person. The girl are gifted in the possibility to read in the eye of people. This is also given to the girl. And to men, it is actively given to have a lower ability to read emotion in the heart. It is active. We are protected, men are protected against understanding what happened in the heart of a person. So to protect the society, God has given both possibilities. A very strong possibility to read in people, and for other people, men mainly, frequently, a lower ability to read and to speak. Again, a complementarity given in the womb of the mother. The third one, many women are very gifted in emotional empathy. You know, empathy is the ability to know what is needed by others. Empathy is, I know that you are in need. It is empathy. There are 2 types of empathy. Emotional empathy is when you are in need, I suffer. And cognitive empathy, when you are in need, I understand what you need. And it is given to men to be stronger in cognitive empathy. Men are gifted in this ability to know what people need. And to mothers, to women, is given a very strong ability to be emotionally touched by the need of others. Again, we are complementary. a third one, and I will not develop all this, but everything I say is given before birth. The compartmentalized brain before birth. So before birth, in the womb of the mother, we can see that men are more compartmentalized than girls. On MRI, we see that women, when something happens in the womb of the mother, the brain, the activity of the brain of a young girl in the womb of the mother is very general, all the brain. But for boys, the activity is more concentrated. So these are both, again, gifts, different gifts. To be compartmentalized is a gift. To be able to use all the brain for any act is another gift. And this is, it is obtained in the womb of the mother and again developed during adolescence. And for men, we have another gift. It is that we have an active break on contact between the emotional and rational brain when something happens. Men have the gift to cut the relation between emotion and rationality. When we are challenged, men have an active break to stop the exchange between emotion and rationality. So it is a gift given to men. So, answer to question 1, we are not manufactured like cars are. Cars are painted at the end. We are not sexed at the end. We are sexed at the beginning. So, gender differentiation begins very early in development. Sex is not simply an added layer in children development. Fetal development is gendered, body and mind. Our development is gendered. We have really two natures. The same humanity, but two natures. So second aspect, is the mind placed in the body or united with it? Is psychic sex added to the body, or is physical sex added to the mind, as suggested by the expression, the child was born with the wrong body? We can hear that. The child was born with the wrong body. But does it exist biologically? No, it doesn't exist. The same chromosomes and hormones induce the formation and activity of the body and mind. Our hormones, probably Pilar said it yesterday, the same hormone act on our body and on the brain. Estrogen, progesterone, and all other, oxytocin, prolactin, all hormones are active in the body and in the brain. The same. So it unites us. Some example. For example, the testosterone, which masculinizes the body, also masculinizes the brain of the fetus. All what I have said during the pregnancy, what is developed during pregnancy, type of empathy, ability, skills for language, etc., is mainly due to testosterone. So the same testosterone acts on the body of the young boy and on his brain. Second aspect, the Y chromosome. The Y chromosome is only for men. Eh bien, the Y chromosome plays a role in the dopamine production chain in men. And you know that dopamine is very important because dopamine is the way in our brain to motivate us. So the motivation of a man or of a woman has not the same origin in the person. For men, the Y chromosome is at the origin of the motivation. So the motivation of men and women are very different, and it comes very at the beginning of the formation of the person due to chromosomes. Another very beautiful example developed by Ruth Feldman. It is the bio-behavioral synchrony. I give a beautiful example. A mother who breastfeeds secretes two hormones. When you breastfeed, you secrete two hormones. Oxytocin causes the milk to be ejected, but also oxytocin strengthens the attachment of the mother to the child. Breastfeed not only give milk, but helps the mother to become a mother, helping her to be attached to the child, because it is not automatic to be attached to the child. It needs to be helped. And the same hormone act on the body, ejection of milk ejection, and on the brain, attachment. And prolactin, you know prolactin is the second hormone. Prolactin causes milk to be produced for next breastfeeding. Prolactin of this suckling prepares the next suckling, producing the milk, but also strengthens the mother, the desire of the mother to take care of the child. Prolactin helps to desire to take care, and oxytocin helps to be attached to the child. So again, everything is done to help us to unite our person. So we are not the result of a mind being embedded in the body. The same chromosome and hormone induce the formation of the body and mind. The child is one, body and mind, not composed of two elements. The brain is the material medium of thought, just as the musical instrument is the medium of music. You know, the medium of music is the medical instrument. The medium of thought is the brain. The third question about facts: does gender differentiation continue after birth? Is everything closed at birth, or do we continue to become a woman or to become a man? First, during the first year of life, we have the mini-puberty, very important to continue sexualization of the young person. In animals, this is the period when the brain prepares for sexual desire in adulthood. So the mini-puberty prepares mechanically the brain to desire the other sex. It is also true for human. The desire of the man for femininity develops very early, either during the pregnancy or during the mini-puberty. The same brain change are observed in human babies. The exact age at which they develop is not yet known. So we are helped to desire femininity physically. We have the development of two nodes, two very small nodes called I don't remember the name of these nodes, but we have two nodes at the base of the brain helping us as men to desire femininity. At the base of the hypothalamus, it is the sexually dimorphic nodes in English, I think. So, and then, what happened? Is it finished at 1 year of age? No. From age 1 until the onset of puberty, it is the childhood. And childhood is practical training, very important. No hormone, no difference of hormones between a young boy and a young girl, no more at that time. But it is the practice, development through practical application of innate inclination and ability. So a young boy or girl just play to be a boy or play to be a girl, and play is very important. This play are trainings. It is a training to become who I am. It has to be protected against ideology. And then become puberty, the second dozen of life, between 12 and 24 or 13 and 20, it depends. About 12 years of adolescence. The adolescence does not take 3 years or 4 years. The length is 12 years about. Up to adulthood, about at 24 for men and 22 for women. About 2 years of difference to become adult between women and men. And so this second dozen has been discovered by Dan Siegel, but others also, it is very important, is divided into 3 parts. The first part is puberty. And puberty, the first part of this second dozen, about during 3 to 4 years, is devoted to transmission of life. So the genital develop, the body and the brain. Boys and girls become capable of transmit life. The attraction to the opposite sex increases, but there are 8 years left to make him or her more capable of caring for a spouse and child. So at the end of the puberty, the young person needs 8 more years to become adult. And the end of puberty is not the adulthood. The end of puberty is just the first of 3 different parts. The first part is followed by a second one, the rest of adolescence, preparing the young person for life in society. The second part is to go from family to society, and it is true for all mammals, animals. All animals all mammary animals, we have to go from family to society, and it is physically organized through the essence of adolescence. You see, essence of adolescence. What is it? ES is openness to emotion. SE is preference for social life. N is the task for novelty, and CA is the task and aptitude. It is an automatic. So during these 4 years after puberty, we become able to go from family to society, and this is again something very biological. For example, the need for novelty. It is due to the fact that young adolescents have a very low level of dopamine. The level of dopamine is very low at that age. And so the young person tries to find something new. And when something new appears, the dopamine increases. And the young is very, have some high pleasure, suddenly good, everything is suddenly beautiful. You are the best parents of the world. But 2 hours later, it is again very low, dopamine is again very low, and so you are no more the best parents of the world. So it is because it is something in brain creating, pushing the young person to desire something new, to help him to go, or her, to go from family to society. And the third part of this second dozen, about around 20 years old, from 20 to 24 for boys, and for 18 to 22 for girls. It is the emergence of adulthood, it is the ability to make choices. The ability to make choices is developed through the development of the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex develops very rapidly at that age, and it will help the person to make choice, to make free choice, real choice. It is to discern. So everyone develops their own, so the ability to discern, it is to know facts and emotion, and to choose something because it is right. And the discernment is to know everything real, practical, and emotional, and to make a choice not because it is pleasurable, it is because it is just. And for that, we need, we need our prefrontal cortex given to humanity. We are the only species to have this at this development, and it is necessary for us to become adult. So the adulthood, we have received everything to become a man or a woman only at 22 for girls and 24 about for men, due to all this development. And this development is totally different in women and men. For example, everyone develops their own decision-making style, men and women, but with women tending to be more emotional and men to be more factual. That's our gift, different gifts. After that, at adulthood, is it finished? Really not. For women, I will give two examples of the gift given by menstrual cycle. I will give two beautiful examples, one for the fertile phase and one for the post-ovulatory phase, two gifts given to the woman. The women, during the charming words, touch women's hearts, especially during their fertile period. This is an effect of estrogen. But without estrogen, without normal cycle, natural cycle, it doesn't exist. So women need their menstrual cycle to receive this desire of masculinity. But desire masculinity is good, but it can be dangerous. Yes, but during the fertile phase, a second hormone protects the woman from smooth talkers. The oxytocin increases. These are true hormones. The oxytocin increases during the fertile phase to protect women from smooth talkers. So the woman has this, is helped to desire masculinity, and she is also protected against smooth talkers. But for that, we need to protect the menstrual cycle. If the menstrual cycle does not exist anymore, we can understand that women have a lower desire of masculinity and are no more protected against the smooth talkers. Second example, during the luteal phase, progesterone encourages women to form close relationships with those around them. It is probably the reason why women are so good for gifts. But Isabel, my wife, is very good for gifts. She has prepared gifts for next New Year, and yes, everything is prepared now. She's very good for, but she has received this gift to be strong for gifts through progesterone. The progesterone, the hormone of the natural cycle, is given to women for many reasons, but it decreases anxiety of the woman, progesterone, but it also helps her to have friends, to build bonds. So This has enabled women to form close bonds with other women. This will be very useful, especially if they have children. It is an explanation from a scientist. Scientist says that it is given to women because if a children is conceived, it is very necessary for the woman to have close friends. This could explain the reason why biology has given it to women. And men now. Testosterone is an amazingly beautiful hormone, very important hormone. First, testosterone helps men to be self-confident. It is not so simple to be self-confident. It is not so natural to be self-confident. So testosterone helps us to become self-confident. It is given to us also for status maintenance. We men, we are in charge to maintain the status of the family. We are in charge of the protection of the family. To refuse any people wanted to introduce in the family and to destroy the family. So we are hormonally helped to desire and to act for status maintenance. And the third, it has been developed by Robert Sapolsky from the Stanford University. It's very interesting. If you like, there is a beautiful YouTube presentation. There are many YouTube presentations explaining that. And again, a third action for men is to amplify reactions. To amplify reaction. To like large event. To want something being large, important. So it is a gift we receive, men, to desire things to be big, large. So, answer to this third question, gender differentiation continue after birth or not? Yes, gender differentiation continue after birth. The sex differentiation continuing during development and also during adulthood, into adulthood. So it is very important to respect the menstrual cycle and to have a positive attitude toward the testosterone. Because testosterone is a very beautiful hormone, and I cannot go in all the details, but it is a very beautiful hormone, and we have to explain to boys that it is a strength. So, do we need two educations? What do we want? Like Jean-Paul Sartre, do we want building from scratch? Or do we want to make uniform? Men and women, the same humanity, no difference. Women are soldiers. Or do we want to benefit from innate gifts, inclinations, and aptitude? It is a very important choice we have to make. What do we want? Because the society wants to build from scratch. They just ignore the biology of sexualization in the society. Many medical doctors, etc., ignores. And there are many scientific papers explaining the difference. If you just look at my books, I have on my computer 1,500 papers showing difference between men and women. So building from scratch would just be terrific. Making uniform, isn't it better to use our strengths, innate strengths? So yes, I think that we can benefit from innate strengths, inclination and aptitude. Nature and nurture are complementary. I show you a beautiful example developed by Robert Sapolsky. In a macho environment, testosterone makes people aggressive. But in an educational environment that promotes the common good, testosterone makes people more generous. The same hormone, two activity depending on education. And this is really scientifically proven.
The second one is TeenSTAR.
Say you are here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But it is biologically very clearly proven. It is experimentally proven that educational environment promoting common good, in this context, testosterone, if we, how do we know that? We give, these are randomized studies. Either we give to some placebo, or testosterone. And we see how people act during the hours after. And in a good educational environment, it makes generous, more generous in presence of testosterone than placebo. So we develop our personality starting not from scratch, but from our temperament. Temperament is innate. Our inclinations are the source of our actions, shaped by our education and then entrusted by our discernment. So the inclination are gifts given us as the base of our free choice. Second, our skills need to be developed and used in line with our project and to fulfill our mission. It is very different. Inclination are motivations. Motivations need to be discerned. Is this motivation good or not? I have a free choice to make. My intelligence has to say, oh, this inclination is not justice, or this inclination is good, I have to develop it. Attitude, skills is different. Skills need to be developed, but we do not have to develop all the skills. We have to develop the skills needed in my family or in my work specific. So we develop our attitude, and all of us have different aptitude. And so it depends on if my wife is very empathetic, for example. It is not necessary for me to develop empathy. But if she is not very empathetic, I will develop my empathy. So our gifts are given not for us, given for our family, for our society. So, the transmission of life, passing on life, is our main mission. It requires the development of distant skills. If I am a man or a woman, my position in the family is not the same. So I have to develop my specific skills. For me, as man, father, now grandfather, the skills I have to develop are specific of a man. It is sometimes the place of great suffering. We know, all of us know that family is the place of suffering. So it is very necessary to prepare children for family life. Because if we do not prepare them for family life, we will have no families and poor children with poor parents, poor mother, poor father. So if I am a mother, I can be a mother, I have to prepare myself as a father, as a mother, not as a person. School is very important, but it has not the same importance as my family. My family, if I have a better family life, I can find works. But if I am a very good, scientist, it does not give to my children good father or good mother. So it is very important to go to an education preparing men and women to become who they are. It requires learning how to make choice. So the ability to discern, to make choice is very important. And it is the place where, by giving ourselves, we find ourselves. Because my children needs father, I develop my masculine gifts. Now I am a grandfather. I have we, Isabel and my wife and myself, we have 15 grandchildren. So I develop my my masculine ability, and Isabel other gifts, because children needs both if possible. So but now does biology help us? Yes, our efforts are not in vain, because there is a brain plasticity. The brain is like a muscle. It develops through work. It is very important. My brain is like a muscle. I can work to develop my brain. It is easy to understand for learning to read. The child is unable to read, and a few weeks or months later, he can read. But it has changed the brain. The connection, the wiring has been totally changed. But it is the same ability of brain plasticity help us to learn how to take care of one child. We can see in MRI, functional MRI, we see the brain evolving during the first months of the baby. The father's brain change during the months after birth, and so we are helped by brain plasticity. We can progress. The act my action today will help me for tomorrow, because my brain is changing. Our freedom is built on our inclination and ability through education and willpower. Our gender is a task to accomplish. Just as a musician practices their instrument and follows the score, they receive from the composer of the piece they will to perform. Our effort make us more capable. We can achieve excellence. So the free will is given to humanity to achieve excellence. Without free will, no excellence. But we develop ourselves from a gift, from what we have given, and also from the composer of the piece. God is the composer of the piece. And my desire to follow God encourage me to make the effort to become more capable. And so we can achieve excellence in spite of our limitations. So we have two horizons, two nature, but we need probably two educations. Thank you very much.